All right, we're on the draw. Match 5 of this league, Looting Rug Delver. I think this hand's a keep. We've got some interaction, we've got some threat going down. I don't love not playing this out until turn 3, but we might actually do it with these cards in hand. We're definitely playing like a blue-red Delver deck here. Nice and slow. Hallowed Fountain off of a Delta. Probably a control deck. Basic Island, that looks like a control deck. Okay. We're going to grab ourselves a Steam Vents Tapped. I don't traditionally like the blue-white control matchup. Do I just cast Looting here? That doesn't seem bad. Dismember's likely to only hit Colonnade. Kind of want to just grab a Stomping Ground and loot. We're going to hold up Stubborn Denial, just in case it's relevant here. Another Peasy, and we bin the Forest. Forest is already useless against Field of Ruin and Path because it's in our hand. So I don't really care about discarding that, and I think, you know what, Forked Bolt is actually a bit worse than Dismember here. So we're probably going to discard that, go to them. Think twice, you got it. Alright, I don't want to fetch a basic here, because I am assuming the opponent's on a Path Field of Ruin deck. So I am just going to grab a Breeding Pool, play out this Pyromancer, and, well, we're going to do stuff. They might just Path it, they might counter it, who knows. Maybe they just think twice. They're doing something, that's for sure. They're going to do something. If they do Path this one, we get to play the next one with Leak Up, which seems kind of decent. We're going to start playing around Teferi when they get to 5 mana. That's shocked. Something's happening. Think twice. I think that's actually fine. I'm going to let that happen. They get to draw a card. Just in case they have something like Jace. Might want to play around that. Could just be a Verdict here. Well, it is Esper. Fatal Push. I think I actually want to make a token. Is Denial worth a token? We don't have any fatties in sight, so I'm just going to do this. Spell Pierce looking a little better than Denial here, just because it's going to make them tap an extra land. Serum Visions. Well, we're going to let Teferi resolve if they have it. Poke them for 1, play this, make a dude. Vapor Snag, not very good. I kind of like Lightning Bolt. I also kind of don't. It's going to help us deal with Planeswalkers, but how big an issue is that? Probably not huge. I mean, it might be, but if the Walker starts ticking up, Bolt is going to be pretty bad. Verdict? Verdict. You got it. Are we going to slam a Snapcaster Mage here? Well, we're not now. I was considering playing around Cryptic Command by just getting my Snap Forked Bolt out of the way, but you know what? Tarmogoyf's probably a better play. Field of Ruin is annoying, but it's probably fine. Lightning Bolt, sure. We're going to swing here. Snapcaster Mage going to go for the Fatal Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means they can't Teferi through a Mana Leak, so that's not bad. If the opponent had one less mana, I might actually just go for the mana leak on this, just because it forces them to tap out. As is, we're going to do this. Counter that push, unless they have a counter of their own. I could see them running negates. Maybe even logic not. Mana leak of their own. I do think we want to keep this Goyf around if possible, so I think we're going to go for this. Possible they have Snare. I'm assuming they don't. And these counters are kind of just going to hang around. Path. Yep, you got it. Let's grab probably the mountain. Let's get the mountain. Alright, well, they just had everything they needed there. What are you going to do? We can Bolt, Snap, Bolt if they slam Teferi. Think twice. Sure. No plays. Holding up Cryptic. Or maybe they just want to swing first. Vapor Snag. Well, we're not snagging their Snapcaster Mage. I do think I'm going to use Snapcaster Mage on their turn, so I don't want to loot here. Field of Ruin on that. That puts us down to 1 green source. Get an island. It's possible we just want to Bolt, Snap, Bolt them right here while they don't have Cryptic up. How good's that? How good is that? It's not awful. If I actually did it while holding on to that breeding pool, we could even snag our Snapcaster Mage in response to something. That would have been a really heads-up play. I'm going to go for this while they don't have Cryptic up. Think I should have done it while holding on to the breeding pool. Now we're really in trouble if they have Teferi. But at the same time, we're in trouble if we don't do anything. And who knows when Teferi's showing up. So I think we're going to try to be a little more proactive. Colonnade, well, we've got 2 cards that answer that guy. That makes me feel like they have an answer to my Snapcaster Mage. That or they just think they're the beatdown. We're not going to play the Goyf out pre-combat because of Cryptic Command. Push that. That's probably worth snagging. Gets us Denial later, assuming Goyf survives. I think I like that. We're going to Goyf and dismember the Colonnade if they fire it up. Wouldn't be surprised if Goyf bites the dust. Are they countering this? Snap Mana Leak? There's no way they're pathing my Snapcaster Mage. Snap Path. Are you pathing my Snapcaster Mage? Is this real life? They could just flash back the Fatal Push. Alright. Yes, they got the last basic out of our deck, but they kind of did it in a weird way. I mean, let's undo that. Let's just not do that. Through there, no blocks were made because no attackers were present. And let's get Tarmogoyf down. Can Tarmogoyf stick? That's the question. Second Colonnade is going to be real trouble. Snap Push. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and call this one a loss due to the opponent just finding 3 Snapcaster Mages and eating us alive. How many threats did we have? 2 Pyromancers, a Goyf, and a Snapcaster Mage. That's not that bad. We're just dead, right? Dismember is not an out in this situation. Neither is that. Let's scoop. All right, Esper Control up a game against us. Stuff we want against Esper Control. I don't think Revelry is where I want to be here. I'm not really expecting D-Sphere. I feel like they have better removal since they have Fatal Push in their deck. Damping Sphere. When I say D-Sphere, I mean Detention Sphere. Damping Sphere is not what I refer to with it, although that might be a little weird because Damping Sphere is the one I run. But Detention Sphere has been out for a lot longer, so that's fine. EE, also probably not great. These are cards I kind of like against blue-white because they're more likely to run Gideon of the Trials and Detention Sphere, so there's some stuff you can hit with that. Alpine Moon kind of helps. Deprive and Snapcaster Mage. We don't have a lot of cards. Dismember can go in favor of Alpine Moon. Is it just the Vapor Snags? I think it's just the Vapor Snags. Against... oh, I do have a plan for blue-white. Look at me. Look at me go. We're boarding out Forked Bolt, Lightning Bolt. I wonder what I'm boarding in. I don't actually know what's good enough to board out these burn spells off the top of my head. The Dismember and all the Vapor Snags. I can get behind this. Okay, what am I boarding in? Self? Oh, this is for blue-white, though. Revelry and EE, right? Revelry and EE, in addition to Alpine Moon, Snapcaster Mage, Deprive, and Huntmaster. Okay. So, I don't think Revelry and EE are going to be that good. So, I think I'd rather just have burn spells. Try to deal with Planeswalkers. Their mana base is going to be a little more painful for them. Maybe kill some Snapcaster Mages. We're going to be on the play. We have... This hand's interesting. It's not bad. Doesn't have a threat. Does not have a threat, but it's very functional. This is a hand I would send back against Tron, I think, every time. Faithless Looting kind of lets us take the turn 1 mulligan, though. So I might just go Shock Loot. Let's do this. Let's find a threat for turn 2. Come on, looting. PZ. I think I'm discarding the Denial. Spell Snare looks pretty good. It's not a land. I kind of don't want to play this on 2, actually. Which means I kind of want to Scour or maybe fetch a land tapped. I like all of these cards. God dang it. Deprive's probably the worst. I want to keep Spell Snare because it hits Snapcaster Mage, and I think that's really valuable. I want to keep my 3rd land because I plan on playing PZ on 3. If we hit a Tarmogoyf here, I'm going to be ecstatic. Basically the same with Mandrills. Or Delver. Even a 2nd Pyromancer. Just give me a threat. All day, give me a threat. We're going to end up fetching out a Stomping Ground and scouring ourselves, most likely. It's possible you want to mulligan that 7, but I feel like mulliganing looking for threats when you have a very functional hand is a bit of a trap. If I only had 1 land and a bunch of cantrips, I could see us taking too long to get there, but we had all 3 lands. So I feel like this hand is fine. Field of Ruin, you got it. We're going to crack this. Get this little guy. Scour us. What do we have, Scour? We have Serum Visions. In that case, I'm going to tap out with this Pyromancer here. They don't have a lot of 2 CMC removal spells. The reason I like Snare in this matchup is Snapcaster Mage, which actually might not even be right. Maybe they don't run enough 2s. It's possible this should just not be here. But since they're not going to cast a Snapcaster Mage on this turn to deal with the Pyromancer, I would rather just tap out. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully gas up with this Visions. Goyf and bottoming 2 lands is something I can run with. Over to you, opponent. Over to you. Esper Control is kind of like the blue-white control matchup, in which they just have a bunch of removal in addition to Supreme Verdicts. I think Esper's probably worse than Jeskai for us because Goyf dies to push, but it does not die to Bolt and Helix. 3 mana Lily, that's good. That's very good. Oh boy. Well, I'm kind of wishing that Pyromancer was a thing in the ice right now. They actually don't have a white source, so I feel kind of good about playing out this Tarmogoyf. Do I attack the Lily? If it ticks up again, I want Goyf to be able to kill it, so I think that's worth it. Am I going to play the 4th land? I actually might, so that I have both of these up. It might be relevant. Do I want the basic mountain? I think I'm just shocking a bunch of times because of Field of Ruin. They could actually use Field of Ruin to get a basic plains, but that still puts them behind on verdicting us, which I kind of like. Which fetch do I want to play? We're getting a breeding pool, probably. It actually doesn't really matter because they both get all of our shocks, and I don't really want a basic, but if I had to choose a basic, I think it's not going to be an island, so I'm going to play this one out. Island for the opponent. I don't think their Liliana ever ticks down in this matchup unless they have a Snapcaster Mage in the bin. I don't think they have enough creatures that it'd be worth hoping to mill a Snapcaster Mage, so I think that's only ever going up. On Tarmogoyf. That's interesting. They're hoping to stop us from taking out Liliana. Think I'm just going to go for this. We're not going to crack this yet. Maybe I shoot that at Liliana instead. That might have been a misplay. This is only a 3/5, so now I need both of these to connect. I think I should have Tar-Fired Lily. 2. If this is Think Twice, oh, it's Cryptic. It's kind of a bad beat. I should have Tar-Fired this. They wouldn't get to draw a card here because they'd have to counter Tar-Fire bounce this. Maybe not. Maybe Lily doesn't really care. I like that it's back to being a 5/6. Am I going to overextend into Supreme Verdict? Let's find out. How many turns do I get with creatures on the board? This costs 2 mana to activate, so they tap 3. They play a land. They'll have 2 lands and plains available. We are overextending into Supreme Verdict. Hold on to your hats, people. Do I play around Snapcaster Mage? I don't think so, unless push, snap, push. Do I want to play around push, snap, push? I actually don't want to play out this Pyromancer with Lily on the table. Just going to do that and hope they don't have removal. That seems loose. That seems loose. I'm going to play out my hand. I'm going to need to crack something. We're going to crack this one, get the breeding pool. Do I have another Steam Vents? I do have another Steam Vents in the deck. Want to make sure I can snare if I want it. That's the whole reason we played the land. Otherwise, I'd just hold it for looting. I don't think push, snap, push is something I need to worry about, but it might be. Maybe that's just wrong with the Liliana on the table. I don't know. We're kind of floundering around because this is difficult. I'm having trouble seeing lines that result in us winning. You got it. That kind of scares me as well, because I feel like they're confident enough to Thoughtseize there. Verdict is now on the table. Bolt. Okay. Okay. That's actually decent, so I'm not going to use it. They don't have Cryptic up. We can get through Mana Leak. I'm going to attack like this because I can Bolt Liliana, and I'm assuming it's going to resolve. We're also kind of out of X1s here, so Liliana's not that scary if it doesn't resolve. I am going to just go for this now, though. I want Lily to die. I'm not freaking out if Lily doesn't die. Right now, I'm just wishing this was in my hand. Esper Charm, they're going to draw 2 cards. They just have everything they want. What are the chances we end up burning them out? This is only game 2 as well. Whew, boy. Push, you got it. Colonnade. Well, we might hit an Alpine Moon opponent. Delver of Secrets. That looks really bad with Colonnade here, so I think I'm just going to loot. Blue, blue, red. Draw some cards. Tarmogoyf looks better. I could play it. I'm going to play it. Let's grab that forest. They don't have Cryptic up, so I don't care to play around it. We're just going to slam. They do get more information with regards to whether or not they want to kill this elemental. But what are the chances they actually want to kill that elemental? Well, Goyf's dead. Alright, we can't beat the Esper Control deck. I mean, we can. It's very unlikely. What would our sideboard even need to be? Probably like 15 threats. I'm over-exaggerating, but still. I don't even care that we lost our elemental token to that Snapcaster Mage. Unless they have another Liliana, I'm totally fine with that. What do we got? Bolt. No more lootings. Alright. We're basically dead. That's rough. That is rough. You know, they say that the only difference between the friendly leagues and the competitive leagues is that the meta is basically different. I'm going to hold on to that. Actually, do I want to bolt them here? I just totally hope I somehow burn them out while they don't have Cryptic up, right? I'm going to do it. They say the difference between the friendly and comp leagues is that friendly leagues are just as competitive, but the metagame is more diverse. I actually should have done that earlier, because now they had Cryptic up after that Field of Ruin resolved. So basically, the players are just as good, but the metagame is wider. Shambling Vents means we basically lose on the spot. Was hoping they wouldn't find a source of lifelink. There's another lightning bolt. Well, we're bolting the Shambling Vents if they animate it now. How many bolts have I seen? That's going to resolve 1, 2, a Forked Bolt, and a Tarfire. That means Shambling Vent connecting might actually be relevant here, because we might find a non-lightning bolt. Now, do I just hope to find a Snapcaster Mage and pray they don't have any counter spells? I love that animate from them. They have Cryptic up. Alright, what are the chances they don't have a counter spell? As soon as we lose this, I'm going to get into the comp leagues versus the friendly leagues again. So, we bolt this because our only out is burn spells at this point. Huntmaster might help. And we need our bolt spells to kill them. 1, 2... Or, I hope to draw exactly Snapcaster Mage or Lightning Bolt. If they connect, I'm going to bolt this. I'm going to let them attack and then bolt it. Chances are this bolt doesn't resolve anyways, but I'm just going to try to take this out. We get punished if they don't have a counter spell and we find Snap or Bolt on top. But on the one hand, I think they almost certainly have a counterspell, so my decisions don't matter. And on the other hand, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. That's an island. Let's go to the opponent. Do I just scoop since they have this life gain? I'm going to scoop. We're not winning this game. I'm not going to make us sit through it. We are going to GG's our opponent because we are gentlemen. And when I remember to, we do it. Anyways, so, the difference people say between the friendly leagues and the competitive leagues is the metagame, not how good the players are. So basically, the competitiveness of the two different leagues is about the same, but people are more willing to bring their tier 3 and random decks to the friendly leagues because you have to bet fewer ticks on it. So it's kind of like you're more I don't know. I feel like, theoretically speaking, the friendly leagues should be less competitive because the entry fee is lower, so you're willing to be a little more lax. And to be fully honest, when I first started playing friendly leagues, in between my actual leagues I was recording, probably like 6 months ago, just before I tried out the Bloodbraid Elf deck, which, by the way, I tried again recently and I just kind of don't like it, so that's off the table. If I do play another deck on stream, recorded, whatever, it's probably going to be a Temur Kiki Brew, because that deck is just totally up my alley and it's fun even though it's not great. So I feel like, theoretically speaking, the friendly leagues should be less competitive, but I'm willing to buy the argument that the lower entry fee just makes the metagame wider because people are more willing to play their fun decks there, whereas it's still about as competitive because you still want to play your best because you're still betting 8 ticks on it. So basically, I'm thinking, if the metagame is wider in the friendly leagues, it's theoretically possible that our win percentage would actually be lower in the friendly leagues because you have decks like Esper Control and Green-White Company, which we just played against, and, well, Green-White Company was kind of close. Esper we got crushed by. These are bad matchups that aren't common in Modern, because Modern has a lot of fast linear decks, which Delver is good against. I want to play against the fast linear decks. I want to play against Storm and Grishelbrand and decks like that. And I would be much happier playing against the all-in combo Vizier deck as opposed to the grindy Green-White Company Vizier deck. So I think I'm happy enough with how I play this deck that I don't mind playing comp leagues. So I think I'm just going to go there for the metagame. That might just result in me spewing more ticks, but you know what? We 2-3'd 3 leagues in a row, so I'm not really not spewing ticks. I'm just spewing fewer ticks. Plus, I still have that dream of just 5-0ing comp leagues and feeling awesome about myself. So I think going forward, that's where we're going to be. Also going forward, Spell Snare's Mana Leak, Traverse's Aspire Bluff Canal. I want my 19 lands in my Delver deck. I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed that video, even though we got irredeemably crushed. And by the way, thanks for watching.